you very much, Counselor.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for volunteering to chair the meeting. It means a lot to me.
Does it not have a lock on it? Because as soon as I finish on charge, I'll get back again into my stuff.
Please, I don't want to
So
hear
it's-
it. Worried about what happened Sunday. I don't know what to think about it.
I'm not stalking you yet.
Oh, so right there, isn't it?
You can go online and buy her identity now, you realize that?
I want to see that. This is so great. Killing, but I'm doing every morning, doing my exercises, helps out.
Get those boots where you hang from the bar.
I think I'm gonna try it.
What about the massage recliner, massages you got?
I haven't tried that.
Did you get them?
I told, who's it to bring him in? Why don't you go get him in? Oh, if he's not here in 5 minutes, we can't.
Who did you say to bring them in?
Lauren.
Lauren.
Oh. Gee, that's a good joke, Rose.
You know her last name, Lauren?
Katrina.
I thought it was another name.
Katrina. Lauren Green. Katrina.
Who do we know that's Lauren Green? He's
Little-
got it, I can
little
see
girl.
it.
Bonanza.
Da-da-da-da-da.
He was a father. He was a father.
That's good.
You want green?
Remember him, Little Joe?
Cartwright.
Yeah.
Ben Cartwright.
Ben Cartwright. Little Joe?
DeRosa.
Adam?
Yeah.
I used to like that one.
Come on in, sit down.
The natives are restless today.
Those kind of words you know what to.
Do they really? Well, I'm gonna give you more kind words. You have to tell me the two ones.
Just like the doctor, cleaning shirt, the whole shirt.
Do you go to the tie?
No.
Nice. I think the fellas in suits.
Yeah, my father really said. My father was out of law school.
I know that. I'm showing you the costumes.
Yeah.
Okay, we ready here? Let's go. Just before we start, make sure your cell phone is turned on. So let me read the letter from the governor into the record. May 1st, 2019, Executive Council, State House, Boston, Mass. Dear Council, I'm pleased to nominate Jennifer M. Lee Allen to the position of Associate Justice of the Probate Court, Suffolk County, Division. Submit the nomination for the advice and consent of the Executive Council, pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I am proposing an honorary president for his agent. Sincerely, Charles D. Davis, Governor, Vice of the Honorable Susan. So, go ahead. So the way this works is, I'll call on people who are here testifying on your behalf, and then call for people that are there against, and then you'll let us 2 or 3 minutes tell us why you should be a judge. And I'll go ask the council to ask the questions. I will not interrupt them no matter what they ask. They can take as long as they want or as short as they want. That's how we're going to do it. So, just tell us who you have here. If you want to introduce them.
Thank you. I do have thanks to people in my remarks, but I will introduce who is here. I have the Honorable John Casey, Chief of the Family Court. One of my witnesses is Edward Donnelly, from the Family Court. My son, Spencer Franceschi, Elizabeth Dulay, Executive Director of Metro West Legal Services, will be one of my witnesses. My former partner, Attorney Angela Catanzaro. My friend, Attorney Scott Blackstone, one of my witnesses, Attorney Jim Frick. My friend and colleague, Attorney Nicholas Plant. My friend, Attorney Natasha Ash, and
Okay, so the first witness is the Honorable Edward F. Donnelly Jr., Probate and Family Court.
Good afternoon.
How long have you been on the bench?
Since 1998.
Wow.
1998.
Ah,
I officially retired on the 29th of March and I was recalled on the 23rd of April. So,
What'd you do with the month?
yeah, I cleaned out my office of 20 years.
okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak in favor of the confirmation of Governor Baker's nomination of Jennifer Allen to the Probate and Family Court bench. I've had the pleasure of working with Attorney Allen for virtually her entire 25-year career. I asked her today when the first time she appeared in Marlboro was, and she said it was 1997. So that's 22 years ago. I first worked with her in my capacity as an assistant registrar and then as a justice of the Middlesex Probate and Family Court. Ms. Allen is always a zealous advocate for her clients, coming to court with thoughtful and well-prepared arguments tailored to the facts of the case in which she's appearing. She's always behaved in a polite, respectful, and professional manner, not only to the judges and the clerks, but also to the other members of the bar with whom she is working and with self-represented litigants. Attorney Allen has appeared before me as a judge for motion and contempt hearings that are too numerous to count. In addition, she's tried at least 4 cases to completion before me, more than 10 days of trial, including including complaints for divorce and modification, as well as a petition for guardianship of minor. Included among the trials issues that she has addressed have been the equitable division of assets, including inherited assets, ascertaining income for self-employed persons, establishing parenting plans that are in the best interests of the children of the parties, and parental fitness, which, as you know, is the legal standard which a judge must use in deciding whether to grant a petition for the appointment of a guardian of minor without the consent of the parents. Ms. Allen is a true believer in alternative dispute resolution, exhausting all available remedies to achieve settlement before her clients have to submit to the emotional and financial costs of the trial. ADR is also a component of her practice, wherein she acts as a mediator and reconciliator. On numerous occasions, Ms. Allen and I have presented continuing legal education seminars sponsored by Metro West Legal Services. Sorry, Betsy, I'm still coming. Where young lawyers receive a free continuing legal education course. In exchange for that training, each lawyer accepts a pro bono divorce from Metro West. Attorney Allen is well versed in both statutory and common law and rules of court and rules of evidence. Her education, experience, and temperament leave her well suited for confirmation to the Probate and Family Court bench. In my view, Ms. Allen would be an outstanding Probate and Family Court judge. I urge the council's favorable action on her nomination. Thank you.
Does the councilors have any questions? Yes, Councilor Randall.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you, Judge.
Good to see you too.
I was there in 1998.
Both times. I went through twice in 1998. Once as a circuit and once as a Middlesex judge.
Yeah, I have a question.
What's
I've
that?
been there for a while.
Yep.
The legislature, excuse me, changed the alimony law, I don't know, 3-4 years ago.
Yep.
And there was certain guidelines depending on how many years the marriage was, this would happen, that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trump changed it all up.
Yeah.
As of, again, I'm a lawyer, but I don't do any divorce, okay?
Yep.
He changed it as of January 1, 19.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do in this situation? And I asked him this question, very knowledgeable on the phone when I spoke about it. What do you do in this situation where the guidelines say X?
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna say, okay, the payor, that's the right terminology, is gonna pay the payee $2,000 a week for alimony.
Mm-hmm.
But now the payor is not gonna get the benefit of the deduction, and the payee is gonna get the benefit of not declaring it as income.
Absolutely.
Now we have it, you look at the guidelines, 2,000. What do you do at that point to make it fair and equitable?
It's interesting you asked that question because it was the subject of one of the presentations at our judges conference that took place the last 2 days.
I should have gone.
Of April, yeah.
That's an good question.
At least in my view, it's clear that the Alimony Reform Act was based upon the then standing tax code, which made it deductible to the payor and includable to the payee. So I think what you need to do is tax affect it. In other words, the guidelines of 30 to 35% in the statute are guidelines. They're not mandatory. And in my view, and what I had done on a case that was not appealed, was to tax affect it. In other words, the accountant who presented to us said that tax-free alimony, meaning non-deductible, non-includable, of I believe it was 23 to 28%, is equivalent to taxable alimony of 30 to 35. And quite frankly, what I did in my findings of fact in that particular case was I explained why I deviated downward from the guidelines.
Okay, and when you say, I get there, but do you ask for each side to get an expert, or is what generally in reality is it? Well, again, the payor payee are married, they've been filing under a joint return, so they have one account.
Right.
presumably.
Right, usually.
Usually, and here's the first question: can the payor, say in this case, can he use as a witness or a report or whatever the accountant that's been doing for both, or is there a conflict in that situation?
At least at this point in time, I've always raised this issue at the pretrial conference stage. And to tell you the truth, I have not been confronted with a case yet where there has been a conflict in the math, so to speak. In other words, it's a relatively simple mathematical equation,
Okay.
you know, to plug in the numbers as if it was deductible and as if it's not deductible, because frankly, most of these done on computers now at this point.
No, I get it, but with all due respect, I don't really know anything about you other than the fact you've been before us before. You may not be a tax person.
I'm not. I'm absolutely not.
And I'm not either. You're saying, okay, yeah, that looks good. 20. I mean, but like,
What I end up doing is, if there is a dispute, I tell them they have to bring in someone to give me the evidence. And I will tell
what
you,
happens? They both get an expert, or
so far, they have not had a mathematical dispute as to the tax consequences. They just haven't. What I've asked them to do is usually, and it's helpful, it usually works better earlier in the year. I say, for example, it was today, I say, take your 18 returns, use those numbers, and plug in deductible alimony and non-deductible alimony, and tell me what the tax differences
okay,
are.
that seems really fair. Do you ever have a situation? I don't know why I say this, but I think sometimes you get a lot of pro se people in the probate court.
Absolutely.
Do you ever get a situation where someone's naive or whatever the word is, and they don't even think about the tax consequences?
Absolutely.
What do you tip them off? I mean, what do you do, or the judge can't get involved?
Well, I will tell you, at a pretrial conference, I always raise the tax effect because it allows the
Seems like
settlement
you
of the
have,
case.
though.
Yeah, because quite frankly, when alimony was deductible and includable, if you did it right, there was more money available to support the family unit. People used to laugh when I said the only mortal sin in domestic relations litigation is sending more money to Washington than you have to. So ultimately, if they did the order and took advantage of the tax code completely legally, there could be more money available to support the entire family unit. And the vast majority of people, whether they're pro se or not, they might not go to a lawyer, but they're usually not doing their taxes themselves. They usually go and they have an accountant, or they go to even H&R Block or something like that.
I don't have any further. You explained it very, very well. My father used to tell me, he passed away in 1992, make it simple. Treat people like they're 2 years old, and you did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean that. I really did.
So before you sit down, yes, Councilor Net.
I just have a question. How long have you been in?
35 and a half years. Since 1983. Long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of changes.
A lot of changes. Oh, to be more changes. The Lowell courthouse is scheduled to open within the next 8 or 10 months. So big changes in Middlesex. Yes, ma'am. That may assume a fact that's not always in evidence.
Let me ask you, we love having judges come in, but since you get up to speak. So my question to you is, what is the state of the alimony law now after the decision that was made to change it by the legislature? What decision? What's the status of today?
At least my
And I'll make it more specific.
Yeah.
When somebody reaches the full retirement, what happens?
depends, frankly, whether or not the original alimony order was entered before the act or after the act. In In other words, if the act was effective, frankly, I don't remember at this point, January 1st, 2015, if the judgment entered after the act, it's absolutely clear that the retirement provisions apply. If it's before the act, based on my understanding of the SJC's decision, it's not a presumption that the alimony will be terminated due to attaining retirement age, and the holding in the case of Pierce versus Pierce still controls, where they talk about, I'm paraphrasing here, but sharing the cost of the retirement. In other words, equitably balancing what's going to be left after the retirement, where the act basically has a presumption that the alimony is going to terminate upon someone reaching Social Security retirement age.
Okay, so if somebody gets divorced, let's say in 1996,
Mm-hmm.
clearly before the change,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not an agreement that can't be modified.
Right, merged, sure.
Okay? So the merge takes place after the change.
Mm-hmm.
That gives jurisdiction to the merge.
I don't think so. Not based on the SJC's. You've got three cases, one of which is Doctor, another which is Chin, and that came out at the same time. And basically, they said, based on their interpretation of the statute, that the durational limits went into effect, and the other issues, including, for example, cohabitation, that those were not going to be effective in cases that went in, for judgments which entered prior to the effective date of the statute.
So if payor turns 70, goes in the court and said that turns 70.
Depends on the finances. In other words, under the current statute, the payor's income is not relevant to that question unless there are other issues that are raised. On the other hand, I'll give you the example. One of the issues was that the orthopedic surgeon doesn't retire at 66 or 67. So, assuming that your 70-year-old is an orthopedic surgeon and his income has not changed, and it is a pre-Alimony Reform Act order, it's unlikely he would get it under the current law set down by the SJC.
All about the Alimony Reform Act, the legislative hearings, the changes, all of that stuff.
Nothing insofar as cases that were entered before that. So over the impact of your statement will sunset over time, but I won't dispute the reality, the accuracy of the statement with regard to pre-Alimony Reform Act cases.
I mean, yeah, so it's definitely going to be a sunsetting effect.
Yep.
Nobody's going to be underneath that.
You said at some point, you're absolutely right.
But for the poor souls, whether they be man or woman that are
Yeah.
still under it,
Yeah.
they may be paying alimony to their 80.
Well, I will be quite honest with you, before the SJC got done, I told people that I would have done the other way, let's put it that way. I told people at pretrial conferences that you run the risk, and my view was that the language that SJC relied on was not controlled. And they disagreed, so.
Well, we're going to get the SJC back here.
I agree.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Okay, we'll let you go. Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
your
Thank you
good
very much.
work
You're welcome.
and answering the questions. The next witness is Elizabeth Sewell, Esquire, Executive Director, Metro West Legal Services.
Thank you.
That's a big job.
Yeah. Well, good afternoon. As you've indicated, I'm the Executive Director at Metro West in Framingham, and it's my honor to speak to you today in support of the confirmation of Attorney Jennifer Allen to the Probate Family Court. I've known Attorney Allen for many years, even prior to her first involvement with Metro West Legal Services, which was in 2007. As a practitioner in the Probate and Family Court, I had occasion to know her as opposing counsel in several domestic relations cases. She was an excellent advocate for her clients and was professional and reasonable to work with, although we were advocating for opposing outcomes. She was collaborative, and we were often able to settle cases amicably. In 2007, Attorney Allen became involved with Metro West She has been actively involved in Metro West since then in a number of capacities. In 2007 and to the present day, she has been taking pro bono domestic relations cases as a member of our panel, representing low-income clients in divorce and restraining order cases. A number of these clients have been victims of domestic violence, and she takes cases each and every year, providing critical legal services to Metro West clients who cannot be represented in-house. Attorney Allen has also volunteered to staff the Lawyer for the Day program in the Marlborough satellite session of the Probate and Family Court. This program, run by Metro West, pairs volunteer attorneys with domestic violence advocates from the local domestic violence shelter. And if a self-represented litigant comes to Lawyer for the Day and they identify themselves as a victim of domestic violence, the attorney will provide legal advice and assistance on the legal matter, and the domestic violence advocate will provide information and assistance on non-legal matters such as safety planning, shelter, and other concerns. In 2010, Attorney Allen became a trainer for our annual divorce basics training, which Judge Donnelly mentioned, which is a comprehensive 9-hour training over 3 nights. And trainers include judges, practicing attorneys, court personnel, and domestic violence experts. Attorney Allen has been a trainer every year since 2010, and in 2012, she became the moderator for the training, requiring her attendance at every session and a good command of all the content. She's extremely knowledgeable and has always been willing to share that knowledge with other practitioners, especially those who are new to domestic relations work. She's routinely given out her contact information at trainings and encouraged participants to contact her with any questions. She's also served as a mentor for new attorneys who take cases. Having a seasoned domestic relations practitioner who's willing to take the time to mentor new attorneys is invaluable, both to the attorneys themselves and to Metro West. In 2016, Attorney Allen was appointed to the Metro West Legal Services Board of Directors. She has served as one of the 12 board members who volunteered their time to oversee the operation of the organization. She's been an active participant on the board and is a member of the Private Bar Involvement Committee and was its chairman until this past Monday night. And that committee works with the Metro West Pro Bono Coordinator to strategize about ways to recruit, train, and retain pro bono attorneys who represent clients. Attorney Allen has always been eager to help in any way she can, as is evidenced by her involvement with Metro West in numerous ways. Her demeanor has always been professional, respectful, and calm. She's a strong advocate for the Metro West clients she represents. And when Metro West clients' pro bono cases are closed, we send out a survey to gather information about their experience. And responses have always been very positive about Attorney Allen's representation. I believe that Attorney Allen would be an excellent addition to the bench. Her depth of knowledge, demeanor, long record of volunteer work on behalf of low-income clients, and the desire to do the job are all attributes that place her in high regard. I think she would be a patient jurist who would be very good with unrepresented litigants. Her exposure to pro se parties through her own practice and frequently through her Metro West volunteer work have given her good insight into the challenges presented by those with no legal representation. Finally, I would say she's practical and resolution-minded, which would serve her well in this capacity, and I without reservation recommend her confirmation for probate.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
James Brick, Esquire, Newton, Massachusetts.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. For giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of Jennifer Allen's nomination. As you heard, I'm an attorney in Newton, Massachusetts with the firm of Brick, Ryan, and Hickey. But I've been practicing family law for about 25 years. Our firm specializes in family law. Prior to that, I worked at the Middlesex County DA's office for many years and practiced criminal defense work for a few years after that. I first met Attorney Allen about 15 years ago when we were on opposite sides of a very complicated and difficult case. That case had some significant issues relating to child custody, division of assets, hiding of assets, and was an extremely acrimonious situation in terms of the relationship between the parties, and that's probably putting it mildly. despite the difficulties of that case, I found that Jennifer was extremely respectful. She was a pleasure to deal with, even though she clearly was representing her client zealously. It never let that interfere with the way that she handled the case in terms of the approach that she took and the conciliatory nature of her approach at times to the case, as that was necessary and appropriate. After that case, over the course of the last 15 years, Attorney Allen and I have had a number of cases against each other. Sometimes she's represented the husband, sometimes she's represented the wife, sometimes I've represented the husband, and sometimes I've represented the wife. And I would have to say, my feeling about the way she approached that first case was exactly the way that I saw that she approached every subsequent case that I had with her. From the simplest of issues to the most complicated of issues, she was well prepared, she was knowledgeable, she was diligent in her approach to the cases, and again, in terms of honoring her word, I can't imagine another lawyer being as honorable as she is and has been. If she said something to me, I would take it to the bank. There was no question that, despite again the zealous way that she represented her clients, she would not put that in the way of the way that the case should have been handled. And honestly, I can't say that about a lot of attorneys that I have in cases with. They seem to be overcome with the fact that they're zealously representing their clients, and that's not what I observe from Jennifer. About a year or so ago, we had a trial against each other. That's actually the first case that I had with her that went to trial. It was a 2-day trial in the Middlesex Probate Family Court, and the case involved issues related to custody, child custody, and attribution of income and payment of alimony and child support. And from what I observed about the manner in which she conducted her side of the case, it was obvious that she had a complete understanding of the rules of evidence, that she was exceptionally competent in cross-examination and direct examination of the witnesses that testified in the case. And it was quite a challenge for me to handle the case against her. I'd like to position myself as an experienced trial lawyer, and clearly she pushed me to be on top of my game in order to competently represent my client in that case. In addition, I have to also comment on the way that she treats others in the court system. It's obvious if you're an attorney practicing in the court, the one person you want to be nice to is a judge. You have to do with minor judges probably sitting over here. But it doesn't take much intelligence to realize you have to be nice and respectful to judges. But I think what I've seen from Jennifer is that the way that she treats judges is the same way she treats other people in the court system. By that I mean assistant registrars, clerks, court officers. Those people are the people that make the system work. In all due respect to the judges, those are the people that make the system efficient and effective. And the way that I've seen her interact with these people leads me to believe that the person that Jennifer will be as a judge is the kind of person that I see in the way that she interacts with these other components in the court system. And I think the highest thing that one can say about the nomination of Jennifer Allen is what the people in the Middlesex Probate Family Court think about the possibility of working with Jennifer. And I've had a number of conversations with clerks and assistant registrars who are really excited about the prospect of Jennifer potentially coming to the Middlesex Probate Court as a judge. And I think that to me speaks extremely highly of the quality of person that she is. The other thing that I've noticed about Jennifer is the care that she has for the Probate Family Court. And we all know that there are issues in the Probate Family Court and a lot of challenges that the court faces. And I've had a number of conversations over the years with Jennifer about those issues. She's always been thoughtful and innovative in terms of the thoughts that she's had about how maybe to improve the system. And I have no doubt that if she becomes a judge, if you so choose to approve her nomination, that she'll carry that innovation and that caring for the system to a position as a judge. In conclusion, I would like to just say that a judge, in my opinion, from my experience, and I've been
around almost as long as Judge Downey, that in order to be a judge, you have to be patient. And there's no doubt from the way that I see Jennifer interact with other people in the system that she has a degree of patience that one needs as a judge. That you have to have the right temperament. And although Jennifer is certainly aggressive when she needs to be and when it's appropriate, I've also seen her to be modest and humble in the way that she handles herself in the system. I think to be a judge, you have to be intelligent. And there's no doubt that Jennifer has a degree of intelligence that I think is necessary in order to be a good judge. You have to have knowledge of the law and knowledge of evidence. There's no doubt from my experience with Jennifer that she has those characteristics. So I think in conclusion, that if you choose to approve her nomination, that you look back 10 or 15 years from now and realize that you made a great decision, that she will be a great judge, and that the Commonwealth and the citizens of the Commonwealth will benefit from her position as a judge.
Thank you very much.
I made a note of one of your comments on in complete disbelief that some practitioners in the probate and family court take their cases too seriously.
Never had that experience.
Must be Middlesex thing.
It's only Middlesex, it doesn't happen in any other county.
Thank you for your testimony,
Thank you.
spot on. Thank you.
I asked the attorney, you mentioned two cases that you had.
Right.
Can you just tell me whose side you were?
Yes, yes. In the first case, I represented the wife, and Jennifer Allen represented the husband. In the second case, so happened that I also represented although I've had other cases that the rules was reversed.
And now that the attorney is. I mean, whose favor?
I think the second case, I would say that I prevailed in one aspect of it, and Attorney Allen failed.
Is that right?
Yeah. The custody turned out in her client's favor, but the monetary issues turned out in my client's favor.
Thank you very much. Your testimony.
Thank you. Yes, Counselor.
Thank you, Frank. Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Attorney Griffin.
Yeah.
You're obviously an accomplished lawyer. You've been doing this for 20, 25 years. Question. Cohabitation. Obviously, that's a new part of the statute. In reality, we know what it says, but in reality, to me, it's so difficult to prove. What's the likelihood? You're in a lot of different courts, that's why I'm asking, I'm going to ask the nominee as well. How successful are people on that? I mean, oh yeah, I got the private investigator, you know, he or she's been living together. I mean, in reality, you know what it says, but and maybe you can explain to the other people real quickly about what's the cohabitation.
Sure. So the issue of cohabitation is that under the new alimony statute, there are certain parameters that relate to whether or not you can prove that somebody has been cohabitating. Basically, it's living 3 months on a consecutive basis with another person, and then there's some indicia of what is there to be proved in terms of trying to prove that in fact somebody is cohabitating. So I think the question is, in terms of being able to prove that somebody is cohabitating, I certainly have been involved in cases where that has been accomplished, that people have been able to prove that somebody else has been cohabitating with another person, partner, whatever nature. Although I think that a lot of times those cases don't go to trial. People just agree that in fact they are cohabitating. The fight is more about how the support should be affected by cohabitation.
Yeah, but I'm talking about cases that are not real simple, like, let's say A and B. A's got an apartment in Braintree. B is the divorced person, lives in Malden. Oh yeah, the investigator says, I caught so-and-so here 6 nights a week. And the other person says, yeah, hey, no, that's baloney. I'm paying rent in wherever the hell it is, wherever I said, Malden. I got a bank account at the Malden Savings Bank. So we know the person's living there.
Right.
But the person's smart, because the divorced person's getting, I don't care, $1,000 a week, and they're smart. Those cases seem to me to be really difficult, especially, I have a bank account, like I said, in Malden. I have an apartment, I'm never there. But like, in reality, the simple cases are simple. I don't have an apartment. I don't have an electric bill, a gas bill. You're obviously living with the other person. But I'm talking the more difficult. To me, and I base this on nothing, I wouldn't think the judges would have the courage. Would have the courage in the difficult, just to say, we're wiping out alimony. What happens in reality?
I think in reality, it really does depend on the circumstances.
Well, like the hypothetical that I said.
That it can be difficult to prove cohabitation because people think about, I think everybody that goes through the system now knows that there's an issue with cohabitation.
Yeah.
I think they really reflect on how they're going to get around the parameters that are set up in the statute for cohabitation. So I agree that it can be a difficult thing to prove. I have proved it in the past, and I know I've seen judges that have found people to be cohabitating.
As difficult as my hypothetical?
Your hypothetical.
I don't know.
Well, I think your hypothetical could be a difficult scenario for somebody like Judge Donnelly or Judge Casey to decide under the circumstances. But I think that it is provable. It really does depend on the circumstances.
Yeah, no, I got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. John, is there anybody here speaking against the nominee? Not hearing anything.
I'd first like to thank Councilor Jubinville for hosting my hearing and all of the councilors for speaking with me on the phone, meeting with me, and coming today to consider my application and qualifications. Thank you to Governor Baker for nominating me, to Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito, to Chief Legal Counsel Bob Ross, former Deputy Legal Counsel Jan Casey, and all of the members of the JNC, and to Deputy Legal Counsel Lauren Green Vigno for your time, guidance, and kindness through this process. Thank you to my witnesses, the Honorable Edward Donnelly of the Probate and Family Court, Attorney Elizabeth DeLay, Executive Director of Metro West Legal Services, and Attorney James Brick for supporting me at each step of this process. I'm thrilled and humbled to be here and to be considered for this distinguished position as Associate Justice of the Probate and Family Court. I am a very fortunate woman. I have been surrounded throughout my life by people with outstanding character, unparalleled intelligence, and seemingly limitless love and support. The first were, of course, my parents. My father, Derek, was British, born in 1925 in Wales. He spoke 5 languages. He was educated at Oxford and flew fighter jets often with aircraft carriers in the Pacific Theater in World War II. He valued education and service, knowing that generosity could take many forms. While he was serving his country, my mother was living a very different existence 3,000 miles away in Peabody, Massachusetts. She grew up on her parents' farm outside of Peabody Square. The farm fed neighbors, family, and friends throughout the Depression and the war years. After graduation from high school, my mother's burgeoning spirit to educate herself by seeing the world prevailed, and in the 1950s, as a single woman in her 20s, she moved to D.C. and joined the Foreign Service. She became an administrator and was assigned to the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria. My father, as fate would have it, was kept working for a textile company in Lagos. They met and decided to take a life together. They married in Germany, moved to England, and I was born a few years later. I'm an only child, and my parents were my best friends, educational supervisors, and traveling companions for my entire youth. Education came first, inside the classroom and out. Our free time was dedicated to travel throughout the world, teaching me about culture, religions, and most importantly, that there is a defining commonality in the world, that most everyone, wherever located, is working ardently to put food on the table, shelter their families, and care for their children. They taught me that families everywhere, of every configuration, should be supported, respected, and given every opportunity to succeed. As I grew up, our little 3-person family was close and so perfect in my eyes, and my vision for the future was that I wanted children, I wanted to care for children, and I wanted to work with and for families. I was blessed to be an excellent student. I graduated number 2 in my high school class just after turning 16. At Brandeis University, I studied history and education and thought I was on the way to a teaching career. On the first day of classes of senior year of college, my father died unexpectedly. It was devastating, but I found solace in my free time working as a nanny for an attorney who developed policy for children with special needs. I learned that there were multiple ways to meld intellectual drive with working for needs of children. Despite my father's death, my promise to my parents to give everything I could to my learning was very much alive. I changed paths, took the LSAT, and applied to law schools. After a year of teaching children, I was a 1L at BC Law School. I loved every minute of my 3 years at law school. I excelled in the court and mock trial competitions, and in the clinical programs that allowed me into the courts of the district court. I loved the courtroom, developing cases, researching law, and putting it all into action for the benefit of clients. I graduated law school to one of the worst economies and job markets, but after almost 2 years of short-term jobs working in the mall and per diem and volunteer work, I was hired as an associate of a small firm in Ashland, Catanzaro, and Ephraim. There was no training period. From day one, I went into the courtrooms, met with clients, took depositions, and prepared for trials. The firm became Catanzaro and Allen when attorney Angelo Catanzaro saw the wisdom in making me his partner. The truth of the matter is that Angelo imparted the wisdom, the work ethic, and the commitment to clients that shaped me profoundly as I developed from a young litigator to a seasoned trial attorney. It was he who made me think deeply about the commitment that you make when you take on the problems of another and how dependent they are on your preparation and advocacy. He taught me that each client deserves and depends on thoroughness, compassion, empathy, and honesty. Angelo also modeled exemplary camaraderie with other practitioners and taught me the professional civility and respect that I try to emulate every day. My career vision had taken shape when I was combining my interest in trial work with my desire to support children and families. Over the next 20 years, I developed a domestic practice of which I am very proud. If I am confirmed and I close my practice, it will certainly be bittersweet. It has been my absolute pleasure to serve and advocate for my clients. Most of the people I represent are in a life crisis and require immediate and caring counseling, advice, and representation. I've handled countless divorces, custody disputes, 209C paternity actions, modification actions, appeals related to family law, restraining orders, prenuptial agreements, and guardianships. I've developed expertise in financial and tax issues related to asset division, alimony, self-employment income, and business valuation. I've had over 35 trials, including examination of expert witnesses and guardians ad litem, as well as lay witnesses, family members. My familiarity with the court and domestic relations practice has led to appointments of special purpose guardian ad litem relative to the psychiatrist, patient privilege, various special master and guardian appointments, and many conciliations for the Bar Association. Several years ago, I became a certified divorce mediator and mediated both divorces and post-judgment matters. Among my clients have been many who have struggled financially or are faced with addictions or mental health challenges. I've tried to educate myself in all of the various ways to assist a client experiencing these struggles and to provide not just advocacy, but concrete solutions to help them succeed. I've learned that the health of each family member is closely intertwined with the success of the family, whether intact or not. It is important to me that you know that I think about and care about the probate and family court, how it is perceived and how it functions for all involved. I am ever mindful of opportunities to give representation to as many litigants as possible, and as a result, I committed to teaching the Metro West Legal Services Divorce Basics class. One does not reach such an important intersection in one's career without significant support. I want to honor some people who are here today and some who are absent. My father, Derek, was wise and driven, but at the same time loving and nurturing. My mother, Pearl, who died just 3 months ago. I hope that my achievements promptly honor her spirit and her commitment to her family. I love my mother-in-law, Mary Danishevsky, who was the kindest soul I ever met. To my colleagues and friends, support staff who will inspire me, educate me, and have a part in getting me to this place in my career. I am grateful to Natasha, Nicholas, Scott, Angelo, for the knowledge you've imparted and the constant support. To my sons, Jack and Spencer, who surpassed me long ago, not only in height, but in intelligence, creativity, and curiosity. I cannot wait to see your futures. Despite the present circumstances here today, I know that I was put on this planet to have the job of being your mom, and every day has been a gift. To my husband, Bob, your unconditional love and support are the foundation that have allowed me to be the wife, mother, and lawyer that I want to be. I'm so grateful to you for the joy of our family, your humor, and for making these opportunities possible. Counselors, I humbly suggest you, I have the temperament, skill, substantive knowledge, and experience to serve the justice of the probate and family court, and to bring these skills to the people of this Commonwealth. I pledge to all of you that it's confirmed I will bring enthusiasm, energy, diligence, patience, compassion, humility, and intellectual curiosity to work every day. Thank you for your time and attention, and I ask respectfully for your vote and support, and I'm happy to answer all of your questions.
Thank you. Councilor Casey?
Just a couple of questions. I have had the opportunity, years ago, probably a little before we were going on here, some years back. We had a case in Worcester, and I remember it, it was somewhat difficult, custody, you know, say the run of the mill probate case, because they're all special. You were a delight to work with. Like Worcester County Guard is very excited about the nominations. I bring that from what some of my colleagues say is the western part of the state, it's really a central to us.
I've learned that.
Yes. So I wanted to say that. Okay, what is your